Happy Monday, everybody
Go
here.
Leafs!
Is today an important day? I'm a non-sports fan. I don't know these
The
things.
start of the Stanley Cup playoffs, game one for the Leafs.
This is where I
So
fail
I was
completely as a Canadian right now.
I
This
was
is
losing
exactly
my
it.
mind there for the last half hour. I'm like, okay, maybe it's good I take a break for 2 hours and not watch the game because I go insane.
I could be. You're gonna have like a little TV in the corner. They can be watching
Nope, I
emotionally
can't.
as we go on.
I'll be doing this. I'm like, yeah, I gotta pay
It'll be a
attention.
solo show with me, just talking. Oh my lord. Well, at least they're in the playoffs. This gives you hope
This is their best season yet. So you know
compared
what?
to their entire career.
From their entire from all of the, from what
Forever.
it's the best they've ever had. So we'll see.
Amazing. Well,
Hi there, Sarah.
hey Sarah, how you doing?
How you doing, buddy?
She's laughing at your sportsmanlike behavior. Oh man, so aside from this emotional cavalcade you're on for the Leafs, how's the days treating you? How's your Monday?
Oh, good, buddy. I was super sore because Saturday I installed a fire pit in the backyard. I got my buddy Greg to help me and
Oh, nice.
made a permanent fire space, just like a round circle with gravel and stuff. But man, that was all day Saturday, and it just wiped me right out.
Yeah.
So my hamstrings are killing me right now. So
Good thing you don't need those to draw. That's fine.
the real labor is a whole other world, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
Unbelievable.
I was doing some spring cleaning and pruning of branches and trees, and I
You
think I
didn't
was,
stab yourself this
no,
time?
no, but I'm healing up okay. It's just a little weak cut now. It's fine. No infection or nothing. This is
Okay,
good.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Oh man. So I guess as we start off the week, I guess we should mention that we are in the final 3 days of the Forceful campaign.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
Boom.
and this is the second volume, Forceful Bands and Shenanigans,
Bands and shenanigans.
from Dax Gordy, collecting the next 100 and plus strips. From
He's
his,
also the writer, yeah.
Yeah, he's also the writer. Dax is amazing. He's worked in animation. He's working currently with Scotty Young on some mini Marvel shorts for their online comics, which is an awesome pairing, if you ask me. And right now we're hopefully to hit 2 stretch goals before the week is out. We have one for the Force Folk trading cards, chromium foil trading cards, and the third pin in the Barry, the Force Folk set, Barry the Barista, basically. So we're hoping we got 28K for the cards and 30K for the pin. That means if we reach these, every physical backer gets one of these. So
That's gonna be awesome.
yeah, and we have from the previous campaign, we have the. I think my camera can focus. Maybe I fail again. Let's try. There.
Oh, that worked.
There you go. So that's the
Great
pin from the first time around there.
Now you had it.
They look fantastic. So
I got one of those too over there, and I got one of these.
Yeah.
If you over here, I got some original art too from the first.
Oh
campaign.
shit! Nice. There you go. There you go.
Sitting back there.
As you can see now, we're at 27,336.
So close. Almost 400 backers too. We'll hit it. Come on.
So
we'll hit it.
we're about 700 off from the 28K goal, which would mean the chromium cards, which are going to be part of a bigger Force Folk card set, come later this year. So these will be cards that are exclusive just to the backers, aside from the common cards that will be in the set later on. So we're planning ahead. We're giving backers a real treat to be part of the collection, basically. So super excited to have that happening, and it's gonna be a crazy week. But it's been a long, nice run this spring with all these Kickstarters.
Yeah.
You
You speaking of Kickstarters, we got another one around the corner, don't we?
Yeah. We planned for 3 Kickstarters this spring. So Force Folk is the second. And we got the third about to happen, which is Kookaburra, my longtime webcomic, which has been laying dormant like a sleeping giant, or one could call the sword of Damocles hanging over my head, which is a story I want to get done. And the thing I've been working on every Monday has been some stuff for the book, for the campaign, gearing up to reintroduce it to the world, because it has been a long time since I've worked on it, but it's close to my heart.
Yeah.
And I want to see it out there in the way I always imagined it, which was a book, basically.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it, man. You've been talking about Kookaburra for years, and
yeah, it's like one of those stories life gets in the way sometimes. Things take hold. It's hard to juggle not only life, freelance, day job, responsibilities, but also to do a free webcomic is kind of difficult. So I think as we've discussed ad nauseum on this video cast, it's been like a goal of a lot of us to kind of make this our full-time job, right? So this is the moves right now.
Yeah, that's the hope, right? Like I would love to work on art in full time, but that's
exactly.
It's a big dream, but I'm working towards it. Sheldon and I got a lot of stuff planned, and
if someone handed you $100K every year and said just work on this, you'd probably be pretty happy, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. So man, oh man. So yeah, that's gonna be launching very very soon. But first things first, Forest Folk, get out there, back it if you can. It's an amazing series by Dax Gourdine.
Absolutely, it's amazing.
And speaking of amazing series, I guess we should talk about our guest tonight.
Yay! Welcome to the show, Brenda.
We have a very special East Coast guest, Brenda Hickey from PEI, an amazing artist. She currently has a Kickstarter going on right now called Butterfly House with her partner Troy Little. It's a really cool flip book idea where she's drawing half and he's drawing the other half, and the story meets in the middle. So I'm really curious to see how they pull this off.
That's very cool.
I think it's two different time set storylines that kind of interplay, but we'll have her fill us in on the details. And Brenda's been a freelancer for quite a little while. She's worked on My Little Pony comics. She's done some stuff for Top Shelf and Simon & Schuster as well. But we can dive in more directly with her as we bring her on board, shall we?
Yes.
There we go. It works. It's all set up.
I know. I didn't screw it up. I didn't vanish.
I saw you briefly, then you left and you came back. How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing?
Not too bad. It's a Monday. It's a long day.
Yeah.
But it's a good day. You know. And you just came back from Calgary Con, am I right?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that your first con of the year?
My first one that I had to travel to. There was a little show here in Charlottetown. Called
Nice.
Island Entertainment Expo. So this is its second year running. The first year was 2019, and then they were like, okay, we're going to do the second one. So they finally got a chance to do that, and it was really a lot of fun. So
that's cool. Is that a comic-centric expo, or is it something more just like creative-driven, or?
Yeah, a lot of the guests are comic guests, and then the guy who runs it will fly in. He knows a lot of voice actors, so he flew in the guy that did Barrett's voice for the new Final Fantasy VII remake.
Oh, now we're talking Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's my jam.
Cool. Oh no, I have to look this up. I love traveling to the East Coast, and I've been to HalCon a couple times over the years. Really want to check out Decaf one of these years. But I didn't know there was one in Charlottetown. That's cool.
Yeah, we talk about a East Coast trip, Ramon. We should totally do it.
Big East Coast tour. I like it. Just rent a
great
van.
tour, East Coast.
Yeah, definitely. You should come down anytime.
Oh, I love it. I love the East Coast, man. Don't tell the West Coast, but I like it better than the West Coast.
Yeah. It was nice to go out west though and see the mountains, because that's definitely not something you get every day out here. So
no, it's a totally different scenery, different vibe, different everything. I mean, that's the glory that is Canada.
Amen.
Oh man. So
anytime you come.
Yeah. Wonderful. Are you a bit of a stress mess with the Kickstarter going on right now, or are you guys sailing through it okay?
It's super distracting. It's hard to do anything else.
I know, right? It's a full-time job.
Yeah. So luckily I'm not on any deadlines right now. So the distraction is just like, okay, it's not affecting too much of my life as long as I remember to feed the kids.
Yeah, don't forget that.
Yeah.
Is this your first Kickstarter?
It's our third.
Oh wow! Okay, so you're familiar with everything. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, because you guys have done Angora Napkin, I know.
Yeah, and our first one was Halls of the Turnip King, which is a book that I made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one happened.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, there we go. Halls of the Turnip King.
That's cool.
It's a bit of a screwball comedy about elf prince who doesn't want to do anything but be home and play his video games. So his dad sends him on a mission to the dwarven mines where chaos ensues because of his bad attitude.
That's awesome.
Playing video games doesn't sound that bad. It's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, you'd much rather do that than any kind of politics.
How often do you guys run a campaign? Is it like once a year, every other year, or is there no set schedule? It's kind of whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, it's whenever we have a book done at this point. Yeah, because we still have to balance like our personal projects with the license stuff, of course, as you probably are familiar with. So.
Oh yeah. It's a juggling act. I always call it like spinning plates. You're over here, going over here. You're like, oh god, that one over here. You know.
Yeah. So usually what we've been doing is one of us will do the license work and pay the bills, and the other one will do their passion project, and kind of they won't be on the strict deadline, so they can do more of the things around the house.
Effort.
I like that. That's great.
That is awesome. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
But this book we're actually doing together.
What are we doing together?
No, but this current one is actually together. It's like both of you are working on this one.
Yeah. This one's taken a few years. Troy did his part. Wow. He drew his in 2020, and I did mine in 2021. So we also kind of juggled that too.
Oh, crazy!
But all the writing and stuff, of course, we did. We came up with the story very organically, like as we would be driving to visit Troy's mom, or on planes to conventions before the world shut down. We would just be like, what kind of story would we want to tell? And we came up with this little haunted house story that just worked in 2 timelines. And we thought, well, that's perfect because we both want to write and draw and bring those skills to it. So if we can break it up into 2 parts, and we can each let our storytelling and our art shine in our own way, and even overlap it in places where the timeline might bleed over on his side or my side. That sort of stuff.
Oh, I'm really curious to see how you guys interplay that, because like being the flip book, and from what I could tell, like
it's very cool.
The center spread looked like it kind of merged, or like visually, it kind of looked like it it was like all kind of wobbly, bubbly kind of stuff, and I'm really curious to pick that up and see how the stories interplay, and this is the kind of the fun stuff that you don't really get from publishers half the time, because it's like you get to come up with the ideas, make it happen, and
so what wouldn't like traditionally sell in the market, right?
So, they'd be like, where do we put this? What age group is this? What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. You got to fit so many categories, but when you do your own thing, it's you can just. That's why I love the Kickstarter stuff. You just let your imagination go, and you can experiment with the medium that you prefer. So
exactly.
So Brenda, I've never met you, so nice meeting you. So I just kind of looked at some of the work you're doing. So what do you do, just for the audience, so they know what you work on? What is your pay work, so to speak, your job?
Yeah, the first job I got in comics, like official job, let's say, was with My Little Pony and IDW Publishing. So I did a lot of years on My Little Pony. And that's actually when Ramón, we met at the Moncton show that one year, and I was just starting on ponies. So it's been 10 years ago, I think.
Oh my God, has it been that long already?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that, right on.
So I did a handful of pony comics over the years. And while I was working on that, the editor for My Little Pony, Bobby Curnow, he had a story that he wrote himself called Ward's Valley. He came up with this little gnome guy who lived in the forest, and he was like this grumpy old guy, and he's like, do you want to write a story about a grumpy gnome with me? And I was like, of course I want to illustrate that. So we put Ward's Valley together, and that came out 2018, which was a lot of fun to do. And then from there, my next title would be Egretsko, which is a Netflix original series that Oni Press got the license for. And the creators of that are Sanrio, so the Hello Kitty people. They have this little red panda character, and she's an office worker who's very mild-mannered during the day, but the stress of the workplace builds up, and she has to take out all her rage at the karaoke bar and sing death metal.
I love the character designs of some of these characters.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
so fun. Yeah, it's so
and this
fun.
one, like, this one stylistically is so different than your other ones too. Like, I guess you're having to adhere to like a character sheet or a design sheet to match.
Yeah, because the Sanrio characters are really chunky looking, right? With the big heads and the thick lines. Yeah, so
yeah. No, that's awesome. Came across this.
Yeah, and that one was fun. The Expo was
karaoke.
Fun too. Yeah, they let me write those ones as well as draw it, so I was really
sweet,
happy
that's wicked.
Yeah,
that's a great opportunity.
Stretch those writing muscles, because I'm comfortable because I've drawn ponies for so many years, but I'm scared to do writing, which means I should be doing writing.
Totally.
Great. Just like the writers do the writing sometimes.
Over now, but well, that's pretty cool. That's awesome.
So that's about the Halls of the Turnip King was my creator-owned self-published stuff. So aside from the day job, I did that, and back in way in the beginning, I did this webcomic called In the Air, which was incomplete. So that's kind of, and then Butterball House.
I know that feeling.
Oh, me too.
Incomplete webcomics.
Yeah.
You ever get hate mail where people are just like yelling at you for never finishing your comic?
I don't think enough people read it.
Oh.
To get hate mail, but. Yeah.
I like when I was doing the webcomic there, Ramon, you promoted it on this is TX Comics. This is like 15 years ago.
2007, 2008, yeah.
And like a whole bunch of new readers came over, and like immediately they're like, "This doesn't make any sense. I'm leaving." It's like, oh, cool. Well, I mean, like as Brenda was saying, I don't flex my writing muscles very often, but I enjoy it. And I was just trying shit, right? So it's so funny to just get people like so passionate. They're like, I don't understand. There's no story's going nowhere. I don't understand these characters. And I had good comments too, but of course the ones you focus on are the negative ones, right? And I'm like,
I know, right?
Well, let's. What do you guys got your heads down there? What are you guys all working on there? Ramon, Brenda, what do you got there?
Yeah, I'll let you start, Ramon.
I'm just working on the thing I've been working on every Monday. This spring is a nice what do you call it? Teaser image I'm working on for my upcoming Kickstarter campaign. So I'm just gonna color it today. I got my reference from the old comic here. Pulling up some old art and getting things rolling, so to speak. So flexing some old muscles here.
Yeah.
But it looks great, Ramon.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that's good. I look
that's pretty
forward
wild.
to the Kickstarter campaign.
Pardon?
I look forward to the Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, thank you.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm excited. I worry because there's a lot of people who, like, even recently, about like 2 months ago, I got like a comment on the webcomic going, "Yep, guess this is dead." And I just you just laugh after a while because it's just like you're like, "Oh, buddy, like." It takes so much to do these. You don't understand how, like, it's not just like you're like whipping them up in an evening or something like that.
Well, it's not even that. It's the fact that you have other stuff you got to do, right? Like, this isn't the only thing going on in your life, and it's not paying any bills. So
that's it. If it was actually paying my bills, that'd be a whole different story. I'd be like happily working on this every day. But as we mentioned in the opening, that's kind of the goal, just to kind of hopefully try to lean into that. In my golden years.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you're in PEI, Brenda. My wife and I are actually going on a trip this summer, and we're spending probably 3 days there with her sister and some family. Anything you suggest to visit or do in PEI?
What area of PEI? Will it just be Charlottetown or?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Charlottetown. Yeah.
Yeah, Victoria Row is a good spot to check out. There's lots of little, like, there's a nice cafe there. No, wait, oh man, they might be still closed for renovation. They're open soon.
Okay, you hear the offside voice.
Oh no, Troy's like my little Jiminy Cricket telling me that. I forget
on your
things
table,
so
just
easily.
shouting up.
Yeah. Victoria Row's got a lot of good places to eat and little craft shops and stuff, and Water Street as well in Charlottetown. That's kind of close to the Delta area, and you got the waterfront right by there too. You can enjoy.
I'm actually writing this down, so I hope you're not lying. What did it say, JM? Hey, JM, what's up, buddy? Said the pleasure of hosting Brenda's sketch duel with Scott Chandler in Calgary. Oh yeah, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Again, I apologize for my nervous energy that day. My performance side is not honed.
Was it weird getting back into shows after such a long hiatus?
Okay.
Oh.
What?
Oh, I think she cut out. Oh.
Oh, okay, maybe not.
I think the cameras. Oh, now we've lost both.
Oh, yeah, one was frozen, one the other one's frozen.
It's that East Coast. That East Coast Wi-Fi.
Island Wi-Fi. Island Wi-Fi. It's okay. We'll work through it. What are you working on today, buddy?
Well, I'm working on tightening up the pages here on these roughs. Started these last week, and I've been working a little bit on them. And I'm just adjusting some stuff because I realize I want to do a little bit more. So, and then, like I said to you last time, I want to try and get these in your hand. So you can go, Eric, do better.
Do better.
Do better.
They're coming along.
What's that?
They look like they're coming along. You got quite they're filling up quite nicely there. Yeah,
I want to put them at a point where you have enough. You understand kind of what's going on. I got to figure out what the dialogue is, but that's just something Sheldon and I'm just kind of going ahead and getting a bit of a story flow with just the panels right now because we know we're kind of
Marvel style then.
Yeah, I don't know how we're working actually. So
well, there's nothing wrong with that. I actually worked on Marvel style books for Marvel, right? Like I just get a paragraph. They're like, draw this. Welcome back.
There she is.
Yeah, one thing when you're in PEI, don't rely too much on your Wi-Fi. Apparently.
Are you born and raised in PEI, or is it somewhere you both moved later on in life?
It's I was born and raised here. I grew up by Brackley Beach, which is at the north end of PEI. Okay. So yeah, there's a stereotype you leave and come back, but I just skipped the middle step. I just was like, I'm staying.
Stay. Hey, if it's good, it's good, right?
Well, it's an easy, it's a cheap place to live, and you can make comics from anywhere nowadays. So it's like, okay, I can work with this.
How are the winters out there?
Yeah. The winters?
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of snow. I don't know.
Frozen again. She's frozen, just like the winters of the East Coast. I've been to PEI, not PEI. I've been to Halifax in February and March, and it was cold.
I feel like you're right on the ocean there, right? So
it was pretty. I remember the winds were just slicing into my body. It was. I mean, I would love to move there, but maybe you get used to the winter. It's just like anywhere. You get used to the winter here in Toronto. You get used to the winter there, right?
You want to move there, eh?
Well, I often thought it'd be a great place to actually kind of chill out in afterwards. I love being by the ocean. I mean, if I can move to the Mediterranean, that's a whole different story. Maybe I can pull that.
Oh, yeah, that would be different. Well, could you have? Forgive me. Is your family Spanish in origin or?
My father's Spanish, my mother's Polish. So I used to have dual. I lost it during some political upheaval in the 80s. Well, it's quite all right.
Don't worry. Ramon and I will bore each other to death with nonsense we talk about all the time. So.
And if it's easier to keep maybe one camera, so you don't keep your, you don't kill your bandwidth. You can always turn off one, and maybe because you're working on a physical piece, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you can always either, if you want to focus on just the art or just.
Well, let's take a look at what you've got if you're able to, because we didn't get a chance to. There. Oh,
Brenda's art. It doesn't exist.
I see the ceiling.
Oh no.
Love the ceiling though. Is that a spider? No.
It might be.
Oh wait.
I see some collectibles on your shelf there. Is this some cool little vinyl figures?
Oh, jeez.
It's okay. How about do you want to just hold it up to your computer camera?
Yeah, you can just do that too.
Yeah, just turn it off, and that way you don't have to kill your bandwidth.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Oh, you're doing a sketch cover? Nice.
Yeah, sketch cover.
Oh wow.
So,
Let's pull that up again. Let's see that. Oh, it kind of blurred out there for a second. Let's see. You got.
Donald Duck.
Oh wow.
That's great.
That's some killer. Have you worked on Disney stuff before, or?
No, just a lifelong Disney fan.
Oh,
right on.
That's a quality Uncle Scrooge there. You know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know.
Is that a commission?
No, we're gonna do some sketch cover auctions in support of the Kickstarter next week.
Oh, nice.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Thought we'd pull out some blank sketch covers and scribble some stuff on.
Like it. I have to remind myself to support your campaign.
Yeah, Eric.
I will back it. I promise. Well, it says 16 days I think still left, so
Yeah,
I'll get in there and.
But you guys are funded already. Now you're just doing the stretch goals, basically.
Yeah, we have one stretch goal left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is we're hoping to get a Flickr bookmark, like lenticular printing, since the
cool.
two art styles. We're like, if it flickers between Troy's and my art.
Will it be the same image, kind of shifting?
A little bit similar. So there's this one scene where she's in a room with a bunch of picture frames.
Okay.
So I've got her holding a picture frame, and in mine, the picture's broken and there's no butterfly in it, and there's no butterflies in the background.
Okay.
Picture frames, but Troy's, there'll be butterflies in all the frames and stuff, so.
That's cool. Lenticular.
Yeah.
That's some fun stuff. Yeah, I always love sourcing the cool fun stuff you can do for a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
You know, we try to, I'm sure you probably do this as well. You try to kind of make the stretch goals kind of reflect the campaign or the book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's always fun to kind of like go around on the internet and go, what can I make that's really cool? That kind of, you know, you don't want to do just like a tea cozy for your campaign or something and call it a day. I mean, though that might be cool and all, but.
Is that what you're planning to do for Kookaburra?
That's exactly it.
Don't say too much.
I've said too much.
Like
Kookaburra tea cozy.
Campaign ruined. So
now everyone's gonna jump on the campaign just for that. They're like,
just for that, they'll be like, "Where's the tea cozy?"
I came for the tea cozy.
We were promised.
Goddamn liars up north.
So, Brenda, did I read this right that you did animation?
I worked in an animation studio for a little bit when I was fresh out of college, but I just did the backgrounds and layout. I didn't do any actual animating.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I did a lot of prop work and layout art for like Ned's Newt and Anne of Green Gables and Redwall. Yeah, Redwall and like all these like Nelvana cartoons. This was back in 2001. This is kind of when I was working there, so long time ago. But yeah, where did you go to school for that?
I took the graphic design program here in Charlottetown at Holland College. Yeah, so it was good. It taught me a lot about readability in your images and stuff, and how to make clear, just clear, to the point kind of images. So I was like, okay, I'll use this in my work, and it's really helped to design pages and design panels. And
I find like I think it was indispensable. Like I did an illustration program. We had graphic design and typography, and I think that helped a lot with storytelling and comic books. That clarity, like you said, you know.
Yeah, legibility is such a huge thing. So,
make
sure that people know what you're trying to say in each picture.
Yeah, exactly. I often use the. I think it was. I can't remember if it was like. Lucasfilm said it about like Star Wars or something. I can't recall, but it was like he wanted it to work without the words, basically, the dialogue. So it's like a silent movie. That's kind of the way I try to approach comics as well. Like the dialogue is like the garnish, the cherry on top. That but you could almost read it like a silent film without it if it's done well enough. Or at least that's the hope, anyways.
we're always aiming to do better than our last project.
That stuff, that animation was tough business. That's a lot of work doing the folders and getting paid per folder.
Is that like the fun packs that Scott used to do?
Yeah, exactly. Because Scotty and I worked together there at Black Animation, so he would probably took folders home with him, or no, he lived there. He lived in my hometown for years, doing that stuff for a couple of years anyway.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that was it's a lot of work, and it doesn't pay that great. So, but neither does comics.
That's why Eric's in video games.
That's right.
What actually brought you to comics, Brenda? Like, was it something that you just dabbled in a lot when you were as a young artist, or?
Yeah, whenever I was little, I'm from a big family, and two of my older sisters and we would always do stories together. Like, we wrote these epic chronicles of the fairy forest stories.
Ooh, nice.
And I don't know, they wrote more than I did. I was happy to draw the pictures, but I wasn't interested in writing words for pages and pages and pages.
So overrated.
It just wasn't for me. And then I guess because we'd have a shelf of Archie comics, I understood what comics were.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, started dabbling in that a little bit, doing Archie comics versions of my characters, which is, just little things here and there, little strips.
Nice.
And then once the anime boom came in and manga became a thing, and I was like, okay, now I'm hooked on comics.
So what were some of your early things that you were hooked on, out of curiosity?
A lot of there's this female group of manga artists called Clamp. They were big in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they did like Cardcaptor Sakura and Magic Knight Rayearth, and I loved those ones so much.
Nice.
So I'd copy those drawings all the time. And then as I got older, and I was like, I'd have binders and binders of things I drew in grade school, of all my stories and comics, and 60 chapters of this book and 24 chapters of this book, sort of thing. And then I was getting to an age where I was like, if I want to pursue this as a thing, because obviously I'm kind of hooked on this stuff.
Yeah.
How do I go to the next level? So going to graphic design, and one of my professors was Sandy Carruthers, he worked on Men in Black.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we got chatting, and he gave me, of course, the Scott McCloud, understanding comics and how to draw comics. So of course, I was inspired. I was like, oh, I can do this, and it is okay that I'm drawing comics my own way and not really adhering to a lot of what I was seeing at a North American comics at the time. And then of course, then you go to the comic shops and you get in the indie section or the creator-owned stuff, and you start seeing Scott Pilgrim and Faith Hicks and Persepolis, and you're like, just jazzed that comics can be anything, and it just makes you feel like, well, then there must be a place for me. My little weird entry into this. So, yeah, my little weird voice over here. I'm like, there's got to be a place. So
I always find it weird when, like, how do people enter comics? Because it's not like there's no school. I mean, there are now, but like, it's not one of those regular career paths. Like, my girlfriend the other day asked me, she's like, how many people do you think in the world draw comics? And I was like, I don't know, that's a weird question. Like, maybe 10,000, 20,000? I have no idea. Like, maybe not even. Maybe it's like 5,000. I have no idea how many creators, work in the industry. Obviously, certain places like Japan have a huge industry there. But, it's just it's such a weird thing to get into. For me, it was like, I didn't even know it existed as a career until like I got into college. It was just one of those things I liked to do, but didn't think of it as, oh, this is something I could get paid to do.
Yeah.
I remember looking at comics thinking, oh, these guys don't know how to draw. Like, I always thought, like I'd pick up a comic book and I'm like, I don't like that guy's art. He's no good. And then I got into it myself, like with Udon. I realized, wow, it is so hard to draw good. Like, I hate drawing city scenes and restaurants and cars and like, come on. And I was like, oh, it totally changed my naive, like,
oh my god, that's funny.
Classic Eric. Just like,
Eric.
I could do this. I can do this, no problem. No,
it doesn't
I can't.
look that hard. Well, come on.
It's the most difficult job out there. I think it's the most rewarding, and you get your skills go up like exponentially, like crazy, but it pays the least, unfortunately. Unless you're like a superstar, right? Like you just
yeah.
You got it.
I think comics is vastly underrated for how much work is involved in.
Oh my god!
In creating, because it is a lot of work.
I mean, it having like Kickstarter, having the internet, having Instagram, having social media, just in general, like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we were younger, it was like, oh, I got to get a website, you know, and it's like, well, how do you get your information? Well, newspaper or a magazine, you know, maybe a commercials on TV, but like no one's talking to anybody about anything, right? So it's like, you maybe go to a convention, but the conventions in Toronto, I remember going to one where it was Stephen Platt and Greg Capullo. It was like one of the very first fan expos in Toronto.
Okay.
And it was the smallest thing in the world, but it was the biggest deal for me. I was like, "Whoa, Stephen Platt, Greg Capullo, wow!" And it's because like back then, it's like, how do you get your stuff out? You just have a website, I guess, and you hope that people find you, right? But like now, man, it's just like I want to say it's easier, but of course, then with that comes a lot more competition, right?
100%. There's so many people out there.
Lost.
Yeah, exactly. Getting lost in the social media game is,
Oh, there's so much talent out there because, like, before I think it's like there's so much accessibility for tools and reference and inspiration that, like, you know, you can just grow your skill set so much faster now because you have so much available. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, the competition though is next level, right?
Oh, it totally is. That's 100%.
You just like. And then there's the self-loathing of like, wow, I'm so shitty compared to all these people that I like. I'm like, why am I even bothering?
That still happens, Eric. That still
happens. That never goes away. No,
that never goes away.
Constant.
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
The self-loathing. It's like, why are we doing this thing that we just? Why? But we can't stop.
It's just funny, because like when I was a kid, I used to just make stories all the time to entertain friends and different people, you know. You actually, out of curiosity, Brenda, you were mentioning that your sisters wrote the stories that you were drawing when you were younger. Are they writers now, or are you one of the few in your family that kind of chose the creative path?
Yeah, I'm the crazy one who didn't get a job. One went off to be an esthetician, and the other, she's a baker.
They're like, screw that writing.
Well, that's kind of too artistic career, baking and you create something. And esthetician, you're doing makeup and stuff, right? So it's something.
Yeah. No, I'm just curious if they ever went to like writing novels or maybe even worked on stuff with you or something like that down the line. But,
no, not since
they
we've
just make tasty treats and make people look good. I like
it. Yeah, exactly.
Tasty treats.
Yeah. No, my sister makes a really good pain au chocolat.
Ooh.
So
it'd be dangerous to have a good baker in the family. I'd be rolling around the house so hard.
I mean, I'd say that, but her roommate and her roommate's family lives close by, so yeah, they usually get first dibs. I'm like, so you posted on Instagram that you made this delicious cake. She's like, yeah, but Nellie's family came and ate it. Like, no!
Oh, Nellie.
You got to teach her about the friends and family posts only, so you get the first dibs on the treats.
Yeah.
Oh, sir.
So you started Pegamoose Press?
Pegamoose.
So
that name.
So what's it?
It's a Pegasus moose.
Is that the Pegasus moose idea?
I love that.
Right on.
Only a Canadian-born creature, basically.
Yeah, but we're the one province that doesn't have moose because we're so small.
Oh,
so it's
appropriating other provinces' animals, eh?
Exactly. Yeah. See, we're just a problem over here.
It's just a problem over
there. So this is just the two of you run this?
Yeah. So far, it's just the two of us. But yeah, we kind of made it because we're like, well, we got these side projects and, we keep trying to pitch them, but there's just no home for them. So what do we do with it? So we thought, well, let's combine our forces under one umbrella, the two of us under one umbrella, Pegamoose and use, kind of support each other along this path of creator-owned self-publishing.
I think it's the way to go because
For sure.
Like the thing I'm working on, the Kookaburra.
I like the logo, by the way.
I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's just like, I find like I love, obviously there's so many avenues you can take to get a story out there, but there's so many fiery hoops to jump through if you're going through a publisher. That I feel sometimes, I mean, obviously, it's a good system. It helps people get stuff out there, but I remember when I was pitching Kookaburra to Penguin Random House, and I got some great feedback. But they were immediately like the first words out of the mouth were like, well, the character's a little bit, a little bit scantily clad, not even scantily clad. She's wearing a tank top. But it was just like, they were like, well, we might have to change your outfit, because if this is for kids. And after like a few, like just after talking with them, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to put this on the web and I don't have to worry about it, and then I would get great emails of like, I'm a parent and I'm reading this with my 6-year-old daughter, and they don't care, but obviously as a publisher, you have to care a little bit, I guess, or figure it out for the money people. But I love that we now have the opportunity to kind of just dive in and get our stuff out there to people.
So is there, do you get approached by people to like publish their stuff or?
No, not yet. I mean, at the moment it's just kind of the two of us, and I don't think we're a big enough operation to deal with anything beyond just what we're creating. So
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So just so far the two of us, and we're still kind of learning as we go. Like we kind of jump in head first, and we're like, oh, we never thought about how hard distribution would be.
We're doing all that here too. We totally get you there.
Yeah, that's been a big one we have to figure out is distribution. Once we get the books done, it's like, how in the world do we get these in stores? So,
I mean, we definitely talk with you more because we've made some inroads, getting stuff out there, but it is a whole other scenario basically. Of getting your stuff into, especially into like if you want to get into larger, more established chains. It's one thing to get into like a comic store through like Diamond or Lunar Distributing, but then there's like if you want to get into like a Indigo or a Barnes and Noble, it's a whole other kettle of fish that you have to kind of deal with, and that's something we've actually been exploring as well, just trying to figure out, and because you make these things, you want to make sure it gets to people's hands, right?
Exactly. That's one thing definitely publishers have an advantage, like is attractive about a publisher. You don't have to worry about
100%.
They do it all for you.
100%, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, if I had that figured out, then
what's this person?
Baby steps.
D. Brad Gibson says you need to write a draw a Pegamoose story.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Call it a Treyu.
Yeah, we were wondering if we should invest in like a little puppet so he could be like the Pegamoose puppet moose, so we can help advertise our books. So it's still an idea, but we'll have to
go for it.
I have a friend who sews, and I'm like, it's like I have a friend who sews, so it's like, would she be really annoyed if we wanted to commission this really weird thing?
I think it'd be wonderful.
Yeah,
have that thing at your booth at shows. It's a whole other scenario, but fun scenario.
Yeah,
but no, it's cool to die. Is it a goal, or I mean, obviously there are so many, like you were just saying, there's so many bigger picture things to think about. But is this something that you and Troy hope will become like your main thing, or is it something you just want to keep as like a side thing?
At the moment, a side thing.
Yeah.
So like we will probably fish around for publishers as well, like before we just automatically push everything to Pegamoose. I mean, Butterfly House was an unusual format, so we're like, no point trying to shop this around. It's a little bit weird, so we'll definitely go straight to Pegamoose with that. But anything we feel like there could be a marketability value to this, we might approach people. So it's kind of like our plan A is see if we can get a publisher, and then plan B is Pegamoose.
Pegamoose, so, gotcha.
Yeah, that's kind of at the moment how we're looking at it. So.
Well, it's a fine way to look at it, especially if you have the relationships that you built with other publishers through your professional work, right? Why not try to utilize those as well, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Just it depends on the market and what they're looking for, and so if we're like, well, we have this book ready now, and luckily a lot of publishers don't mind if you run a Kickstarter book if they get to, I don't know. If it's
No, exactly. A lot of them will be like, oh, hey, it's done. We don't have to do anything.
Yeah. So it's like we could run a Kickstarter, and then 2, 3, 5 years from now, the market decides, oh, I'm ready for that book.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of our plan here. Like, you know, we're starting off too small in distribution, but if someone wants to suddenly go, hey, Simon & Schuster wants to buy this and distribute it all across North America, you know, obviously that's beyond our scope as a small publisher. So definitely dive into it and, get as much exposure for the creators as possible. You know.
Can we see a little more progress on your work there, Brenda?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
The ink's laid down in the corner.
Oh, you're cruising on all this inking. Jeez, I'm slow.
What are you inking with?
I'm inking with this carbon pen here.
Oh,
I've never seen that.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm planning to color this with Copic markers, so I like this one because the markers don't bleed with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'll just do a thin little outline to begin with, kind of like coloring book style, and then I'll chunk up the lines later once the
the paint is in, or sure the markers are in and stuff. Yeah.
Copics are lovely, but it's hard to find that pen that won't just smudge under it.
Oh yeah, no, use that waterproof. I used to do a lot of pen work like that with watercolor, so similar problem where you don't want the stuff to suddenly just bleed everywhere.
Yeah. Like I finally got that face drawn right, and then the nose goes across. Yeah.
I've had that happen before, where you just do your piece and suddenly you lay down that paint or whatever, and suddenly this fine mist starts to emanate from all the lines. You're like, what? No.
I know.
It said waterproof on the bottle.
It's so tragic.
Oh yeah, it can be very scary.
Is there any conventions coming up that you guys are planning to hit?
The next one that I'll be at, and I'll be there with Troy, is TCAF.
Nice. We'll see
nice.
There.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we'll have a Pegamoose table. Just a second, this pizza chair is driving me crazy. Okay. Yeah, we'll be at TCAF, and we'll be there together with a big Pegamoose table. So we'll be pushing the 3 books that we have. We're hoping to have Butterfly House out for that and debuting at that show. So we've already got all the files to the printer and everything's been given the green light. So it's just a matter of hitting the go button on that. And it's printed in Canada too.
Oh, nice. Are you printing offset locally or do you
we're printing at Friesens.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know them.
Yeah, they've done our first 2 books. So we're like, yep, we like that, and then we don't have to worry about anything getting held up at any borders.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, people often will ask me, like, why don't you print in, like, China or something? And I'm like, it is cheaper, but, by the time you work in shipping and everything else, like, it's still maybe fractionally cheaper, but it's just so much of a headache.
Yeah, so you guys print most of your stuff within the country?
Yeah, we print it all, like, in Canada, and the cool thing is, too, from a distribution standpoint, should you ever go down that path, is like, because you're printing in Canada, your books are exempt. They're tax free across the border.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can actually ship and not be taxed as part of the NAFTA agreement, right?
Oh, okay.
So if you're printing your book in China, they would be heavily taxed going into the States if you were to, suddenly distribute. But so it works out nice in that regard. So we have a bit of a warehouse that we utilize in Washington that we send our books to ship to cons that we do.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So we don't have to carry anything. We just go ship to this con, and then the books are there when we get there.
Perfect.
And it's a little bit less stress than trying to carry books across the border and explain yourself and
Exactly.
have the proper paperwork and stuff, which we've done, but it's just it's a stress. So if you can avoid the stress.
It's all heavy, and if they break your luggage and all your books, they're destroyed.
Oh my god! We had one time we tried to ship from here to a show in Chicago. One box got completely lost. Like,
I remember that.
It never showed up.
Yeah, we were waiting for that. That's right.
And then the other box looked like it had been through a war-torn, like, it was just like, we don't know what they did to the box. It's like they took a sledgehammer and an axe to it. And we were just like, what the hell is going on? And then I remember talking to the USPS rep at the post office. I was like, these were supposed to be here. They said by Friday. And she's like, oh, honey, that's just suggested. And we're just like...
They even know, eh? They're like, yeah.
They're just like, okay.
Such disrespect.
You just have to walk away laughing at that point because you're just like, I'm never going to see my books again.
That's it.
Yeah.
Luckily it was only one box, but oh man, it was sucked.
Yeah, I used to. What I do with actually, I think for that show too, when I'd always ship my stuff to the hotel. I'd travel over the border with an empty car because I don't want to get pulled over or questioned. Right? I'm just like, nope, I got nothing. Don't worry about it.
That's what we were trying to do, is ship it to the hotel, but
did
not work out that time at all.
Did not work out. No.
No.
Yeah. How about you guys? Have you been to any cons since things opened up? Or
for me, Toronto only. Did you guys? You went to Vancouver, right?
I did. I did Daxon. I did Vancouver in February, and I did Chicago in December. I think those are the only two I've done aside from. Oh no, we did the Toronto show as well, obviously. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. It's just right now, I'd love to do more, but I find I don't know if you find this at all, Brenda, but just like balancing shows and your workload and your create your own stuff, it just sometimes I'm like, I just want to just sit at home and draw.
Yeah, I get like that too.
So it's making the hard call sometimes where I'm like, okay, so I have my favorite shows, which is, luckily two of them are local, which is TCAF and Fan Expo, but Chicago is a big favorite, which I go to every year. And I'm hoping to do maybe Heroes this summer in, I think it's in North Carolina, I think Heroes is. But yeah, slowly just try to kind of incorporate a few more, but try to be realistic about it, like maybe tops 5 or 6, maybe.
Oh man. Sam's got a horror story there.
What? What's this? With a major booth ahead to pack it one day because they're. Oh no! Really?
Oh man, that stinks.
That's the worst. Oh god. Yeah, I would hate. I'd be like every show I do. I'd be like, I'm just road tripping. It's in my truck. I'm just gonna take it with me.
Yeah,
oh, man,
that stinks.
That'd be heartbreaking as a publisher to do that. Man.
Yeah, that's why I kind of like just sticking to Canadian shows as much as possible.
I mean, it is nice if you can pull it off, right? But there's something to be said to choosing the right shows too. I guess also, like, I don't know. Do you find this, Brenda, when you're, because you said you're going to TCAF to promote Pegamoose? Do you find you'll aim? Is that for real?
Boom.
That's our yard. That's our front yard.
Yeah. You go to like the Google Maps, you can zoom in on your house, and that's like from your house. It's amazing.
Do you choose particular shows when trying to promote like your Pegamoose stuff? Like, do you find, like, say for example, like you're doing TCAF. Do you think you do better at a TCAF than opposed to, say, like a Fan Expo Toronto, because the audiences are so different, or do you find like it's kind of equal for your own creator own stuff?
I mean, this will be one of the first times I'll have an actual good table at TCAF, so we'll see
what
the numbers are like. Because the last time I went, I was on the 3rd floor, and I just felt a little bit like, I just have pony stuff on my table. I'm a little bit embarrassed. Am I supposed to be here? Because everybody's doing this cool indie stuff. Do I look like a sellout? So I got really, I got really self-conscious. And I was like, no, don't look at me, but look at me.
I mean, that's why for years I didn't do the show. Like, I loved it, but I had nothing I felt that fit the bill.
Oh, I always brought my Street Fighter stuff, but that didn't fit at all, right? Like, so... But, what are you going to do?
Yeah, like Fan Expo, you bring your ponies, and of course kids are always like, oh, ponies, and they'll tell you who their favorite pony is, and so there's a lot of chance to sell, comics, prints of that kind of thing. But I mean, the Calgary show, I was surprised. I sold 12 copies of Turnip King there, and people, because I think they were caught by the title, they're like, what is this? And then they'd flip through it and be like, I think I'll get this. So yeah, I was really surprised and quite happy that, not only were people picking up the licensed stuff that they would recognize, but they were taken by this weird little fantasy comedy Halls of the Turnip King book.
Yeah. So, no, we found that the Vancouver show was great for that as well, the Fan Expo Vancouver show.
Yeah, for Dax, right?
Yeah, Dax sold like close to 40 copies of his book there.
Oh, good. That's amazing.
Yeah, so he was more than pleased.
Yeah, that's good.
I think it's but I noticed the crowd there was quite it could have been also because I think it was during Family Day weekend, if I recall. Okay. So it was a very like family oriented kind of event. Like you saw a lot of families walking around and buying, the kids flipping through things and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we're going to be checking out later this year. We're going to be checking out a show in Ohio called Cartoonist.
Right.
Comic Crossroads in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's actually it was started by Jeff Smith, the creator of Bone.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a TCAF show, where it's all creator-driven kind of stuff. Never been, but we're gonna check it out and see how it is for the crowd and stuff like that. So always curious to explore these different kinds of shows.
Totally. I got a family down there, so that's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask you how it goes.
Yeah, no, happily share a report. We used to do like Mocha back in the day as well, which was quite good for creator stuff. So it's always kind of cool to go to shows to like TCAF, which are geared especially towards creator-driven stuff, right? So we'll see. Road trip. We'll see what happens.
Road trip, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little birdie told me, Brenda, that you have a Patreon.
A little birdie.
He's gonna be like, Eric, I said organically. I don't know how to bring it up organically, so that's it, Mike.
Yeah. We have Troy and I share a Patreon because again, we were like, let's combine our forces and benefit each other by pulling in both our fan bases. So yeah, we have a Patreon for Pegamoose Pals where we do a lot of posts behind the scenes stuff, what we're working on, what we've worked on in the past, just lots of talky stuff there, lots of images, and we try to update once a week for each of us. So Troy tries for Tuesday and I try for Thursday, so lots of posts.
Oh, nice. Are you finding it successful? Like, not that's the wrong word. You find it like for the amount you're putting in, is it a good return on like engagement and growth and readership and that sort of thing?
I mean, the engagement can vary. We have a couple people that'll be more willing to comment than other people, of course. I think other people are just happy to read the posts and put a like on it, but it pays for our coffee bill. It paid for our TCAF table, so that to me is
that's
a good
great
thing.
That's a good question. Brenda, what is the collaborative process between you and Troy on Butterfly House?
Who's the boss?
Who's the boss? Oh, I think Brenda might be frozen.
No.
At least she's frozen happy. And that's what counts.
Or she didn't like the question.
Yeah, she just hit pause on her screen and she's like, I'm out of here.
I'm not answering that. I'm in trouble.
I'm not answering that.
Patreon, nice, yeah.
How's your layouts coming there, buddy?
Oh, good. I'm just, I added 2 pages to this intro because we kind of see the 3 characters to our story. And then it cuts to this big shot of the city, and then it's out. Then we're into the prose, and I'm like, I think I want to add 2 more pages to kind of show a little bit more to the characters, give a little bit more of a texture to them, right? A little more flavor to them before you get to read about them. So instead of just a couple of, a panel or 2 of them, they get like maybe 6, 7 panels of them. So
okay.
Yeah.
Who are the characters in this?
Celeste. And currently, TBD names are Menar and Elder.
So, TBD names.
Yeah, well, yeah, we like them, but hey, Sheldon's the writer, so whatever. You might get inspired with something else and then go that way. So, but yeah, Brenda, we were just about to ask you there what Sam wrote.
Yeah, the collaborative process.
Yeah.
So
we thought
it was.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh no, it's fine. It was very different from how we have ever worked on any comics before. We were both kind of saying, we like working on licensed stuff, but it's so rigid that you just get a script and you're kind of stuck to what the writer dictates, and then also what the licensed style is. Like Rick and Morty, you have to draw them like Rick and Morty ponies. You have to make them look like ponies. So we're like, if we do something, we'd like it to be breaking some of those conventions, most definitely. And just having fun and playing, like a lot of playing, a lot of back and forth. So first we came up with like, well, we want to collaborate, but what in the world kind of idea? Like what story? We've got nothing. Like where do we start? And so we were just driving along and we're just chatting. I was like, well, I always had this idea that it would be cool to go in a house, an abandoned house, and you're exploring and you find like under the floorboards a little time capsule with clues as to who lived in this house X number of years ago, and then you kind of follow a map to like the next clue, and then you kind of piece together a life that happened in this house. And then Troy liked that. He's like, that sounds kind of cool, but what if we took it in this direction and made it fit more like a haunted house? And so I was like, oh, that's interesting. And we just would kind of jam it out a little bit, like just in conversation. And so eventually, as we got enough concrete story details, we're like, okay, we're starting to see this thing come together instead of just what if this, what if that? And we're like, okay, we're starting to see a beginning, middle, and end happening. So we got a bottle of wine and some
Vino.
And once the kids were in bed, we're like, let's just drink wine and put our notes on note cards and arrange them into story points based on the two timelines, because of course we thought it'd be neat because she's finding out about the past in the present, so you do both storylines to make the full story. And so we broke our story notes into two sides, and then we're like, okay, this is all good, this is all great, now who gets what side? And so Troy picked the past and I got the present, so he did the more surrealistic backstory and I did the more haunted house present kind of story. And
you think there'll be more collaborations like that, like other stories you have planned?
We hope so. We don't have anything yet, and we're kind of like, oh, how do we top Butterfly House, because we kind of threw everything we had at it. So it's like, well, what do we do next time? Will it be a more traditional collaboration that one writes and one draws, or I guess time will tell, that sort of thing.
I like who's that writer who lived in Cuba? Hemingway? Write drunk, edit sober. So get that bottle of wine in there and just start writing.
Exactly.
So that's great.
You actually piqued my curiosity when you were saying compile your cards. Do you write like in scenes and then kind of rearrange them, or Pardon?
That's what we did for this one.
Oh, okay. So this isn't like the normal way you work.
Not normally, no. We heard of other creators working this way with the note cards and arranging them. So we're like, oh yeah, let's do things different, because we always kind of have this rigid structure that we do. So yeah.
So for like your first book, you were more traditional, where you wrote like a full script.
Yeah, Halls of the Turnip King. It was pretty much just me vomiting into the keyboard one day, and then I kind of edited a little bit, and then just went to drawing and would edit it as I drew the pages. I was like, oh, well, this line doesn't make sense anymore. Let's cut this out and do it that way, which is normally how I would work on my own stuff. Is just write out a script and kind of edit it as you draw the pages, and the pages kind of would dictate how the story should go. It's more of a roadmap, I call it, than a script.
No, that's true. I can see that. How did you find the note card process? Did you like it better, worse, or was it just different?
I'm losing you.
Oh, did we freeze?
Oh, no.
Maybe I froze. Oh, Oh no,
you're good.
I'm good. Oh, maybe she froze.
Oh, she's out.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh no!" It's just like...
Oh no, the moose tripped over the Wi-Fi.
Island Wi-Fi. It's one thing. It's one thing you give up.
Well, so what do you got left on this thing? You
I'm just laying in flats right now. So as you can see here, just kind of going through and dropping in flats for all the colors and stuff like that. And hopefully by next week I'll have it. I want to go in there and color it and do everything proper, and then get this thing out on social media.
Nice.
Yeah.
When is the launch again?
It's in potentially 2 weeks. We're still finalizing the date based on my schedule and a bit of the team here.
Right.
What's viable, what's possible, what's the least stress, basically.
It's all stress, buddy. You know that.
It's fun stress though. Fun stress.
But you're right. It is whatever is the least stress, right?
Yeah.
So you can get it done. So.
But I'd like to get it sooner the better. And but we'll see. We're going to talk in the coming days and nail down the exact date for launch, basically.
Are you still doing any Stillwater?
Oh yeah, no. Stillwater comes back on the shelves end of this month, the 25th, I think. It's for sale. The next issue of the next arc, basically.
Yeah,
so.
Sarah probably wants to hear that, so that's why I brought it up.
So sorry, yeah, we lost you, Brenda. We heard the oh no. But out of the right, did you like it better or worse the way you tackled Butterfly House, like the writing process or the creative process?
Yeah, it had its ups and downs.
Yeah.
I found when I went to the script, because it was so vague, some days I'd be a little bit like, oh, it's so hard to come to a page with even the script kind of being a blank slate, because it just says she enters the house on this page. So it's like, oh no.
That's pretty vague.
Yeah, so yeah, we kind of wanted to keep it vague so we can make it up on the page and let the visuals dictate a lot of the storytelling. So some days it was good because you're like, I can do whatever I want, and then other days it was awful because you're like, I can do whatever I want, and now it's too much power. What do I do?
I need guidance.
Exactly.
Some constraints.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
It was definitely nice just to see that at the end of the day you had something completely, like, you had no idea what you would end up with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it kind of kept it interesting that, when everything's laid out in the beginning and there's no surprises. So.
Yeah, is that something you would normally do when working on a comic, is lay out the whole issue or graphic novel first and then dive into the final art? Or do you kind of go piecemeal, like where you're maybe, if it's like a 200-page or 100-page graphic novel, you maybe lay out 30, draw them, maybe the next 30, that sort of thing? Do you have any method to your madness? Or? Yeah,
it depends on how my brain is at the time, because I find layouts just take so much brain power that if I just feel tired, I just can't do too many at once. So. Oh yeah, they're definitely draining for sure. Yeah. Do you have a method you prefer? I mean, with some of the larger projects I've done, like when I worked on Jane and Tale of Sand, I definitely laid out the whole book ahead of time, because I had to present it to the publisher, because I was also adapting a screenplay, so it was very much like I had to break it down into pages and all that kind of stuff. But oftentimes so for those, I definitely, for such a large body of work, I did them all ahead of time, which actually helped quite a bit, because we ended up doing a lot of story editing once I put things down on paper. Right. But things like Kookaburra, for example, I would like write out stuff, but then kind of lay out in chunks, basically. And then because sometimes the story would change a little bit, or like you were saying, it's like a roadmap, right? So like sometimes the characters would take me on this whole other tangent that I wasn't expecting. And so, but you have to be ready to work that in when inspiration strikes and the like, you know. So I find every project is so different. Like every Kickstarter is so different. Every time you create something, it's always a learning experience. You kind of take what you learned last time and apply it, but then you'll get thrown all these curveballs, and like, the story doesn't feel like it wants to be as structured in the initial stage, but this one feels like, it really needs to know up front what it's talking about.
Yeah, I have a few things like that where I'm. I find even the loose ones may start off loose, but you need to kind of bring in that structure, otherwise it might get too lost. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it might come off like you didn't know what you were talking about.
Exactly. It might, the story might suffer a little bit if you don't eventually kind of, nail down everything as best as you can, or at least have a stronger roadmap, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with Butterfly House, we didn't mind it because it was supposed to come off a little bit surrealistic in places. So it's like, if it feels a little bit vague in places, that's because we intentionally wanted the readers to imply things themselves as they're reading this book. So not give them all the information. So they can use. I don't know. Hopefully they think about it after they finish reading it.
Well, that's what you hope, right? Like that's I like when I had that kind of occur with Tale of Sand, where the reader, it was always fascinating to hear what a reader got out of the story, because it was such a weird, surrealistic, vague, but I left enough hints and clues in there, that I was just like, it was really fascinating to see what people came up with, and inspiring at times too. You're like, oh wow, I didn't even see that, like, but it's there,
that's exciting.
But one thought just occurred to me. Have you ever, being that both you and Troy are artists, has one of you, in collaboration with the other one, like have you ever, for example, worked over his layouts or anything like that, or vice versa, or are you both kind of independently? No.
Yeah, we're pretty independent. Yeah. Yeah, Troy's drawn over, like when he worked with Kevin Eastman on the Radically Rearranged Ragdolls comic that they did, he drew over Kevin's layouts, and he found it quite difficult actually, because he's like, it just makes me feel like I want to see Kevin's art. so yeah, he's trying to stay true to these layouts, and he's feeling like, I feel like I'm like ruining some really cool artwork. I don't know, maybe if
I would also find it constraining a bit, maybe.
Work together so much.
Yeah,
you have your own shortcuts you've developed over the years to like visually set up a scene, and somebody else is going to have their shortcuts, so you're just kind of like, oh, this is never how I would tell this story beat.
Yeah, so it's like, I even find that interesting when I'm working with Chip on Stillwater, where sometimes I'll like, and it's cool because he has an artist background. So, he obviously is thinking visually, but there'll be still times where I'll go in and go, oh, I want to split this panel up into two sequences rather than the one that he has it as, because I think it'll either play off the story better or the moment better, or whatever it might be, or maybe even cut a panel or merge a panel or whatever, so it's always interesting to see that visual language kind of broken down by different creators and how it's applied.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe that'll be something we decide will be what we want to do in the future on a collaboration.
Yeah, like, no, totally, yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Do you have any, like, what is your kind of, like, long-term goal, the both of you? Like, obviously telling stories and stuff, but is there some big dream that you're like, oh, I would love this if it happened?
I would love it if we could, pay the bills making and creating our own stories, and not always use the license stuff to pay the bills. So because we have so many ideas, and
and life is only so long. Yeah, exactly. Well, the cool thing is though, like, having 3 books under Pegamoose, that's nothing to scoff at.
No, not at all. That's awesome.
You know what I mean? Where it's like you now have 3 books that are completely your own, that you can go to shows, promote. And that's only going to get bigger from now on.
But just think about when you're younger and you have these ideas. You're like, oh, I want to start drawing, and then you think of like, how am I going to publish this? How am I going to get this out there? And now you're in this position where you've got published work. You have a partner, and the two of you are working on content. You have a publishing house, so to speak, right? Like it's growing. You got a Patreon, so it's like you're here now. You're right there. It took you, I don't know how many years, but like your younger self is probably like, I did it. And then your older self is like, holy shit, the world's expensive.
Stress.
I know, right? Yeah, definitely. And then
Speaking of your younger self, is there anything, if you could go back in time and tell your younger self some kind of advice, what do you think that would be?
Just relax.
Chill the fuck out.
I know. I just always get so nervous. I'm always like, imposter syndrome and all this.
Oh, that doesn't go away.
Am I good enough to be here? Everybody's doing these really amazing things, and I'm just like, for the first 10 years, mostly just drawing these cartoon ponies. It's like, I don't know if I'm legit yet. Like, I just felt like, but it's like if you just relax and you just remind yourself there's room for all sorts of voices in comics. You don't have to be
that's great advice.
Somebody else.
That's,
But just be you and bring to comics what you bring, because that's what everybody's here doing.
Yeah.
So you're not the only one.
That's great advice. Yeah, because I was like, one thing we always have is our own perspective on how we tell a story is going to be more, it could be the same story that you and I both come up with, but our own slants on it will make it so different and so unique, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this industry and what we do, But yeah, great advice.
Yeah, and it's what I love about comics anyway, like just the huge wide world of comics, whether it be manga or European or North American. It's just, all these very unique individual voices that you'll find in this just really cool little book that, like, a person made this, one person made all this. It's just so fun. It just gets me energized.
Do you have any recent favorites that you've picked up that have kind of re-inspired or, kind of like wowed you?
I love the Case of the Missing Men, and the sequel to that, The Cursed Hermit, by Conundrum Press. Yeah, I got them on my bookshelf. I will bring them over.
Oh, nice. I'm sure Rob's frantically looking for the link.
Who will win?
Who will win? You know him. I
gotta find this right now.
It's
a tie.
So yeah, this one here.
Oh wow, I never heard of that. That was cool.
Huh.
Yeah, it's like a little Nancy Drew meets David Lynch horror stories that take place in a little Nova Scotia town.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So is it by a local creator, I guess, then?
Yeah, they're from Nova Scotia, but the art is just this gorgeous. If I can get it open.
Oh wow! Oh, that's
really
cool.
Gorgeous hatchwork.
Have you met them?
No, I mean maybe I have and I didn't realize because I just picked these up in the last couple months. But maybe if I go to Decaf, I can get them signed. But yeah, just like it's really gorgeous stuff.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Just weird little David Lynchy mysteries.
So you say Decaf. So is it an extension of TCAF then? Is it Chris Butcher in them, or is it some other group?
No, it's actually Cal from Strange Adventures in Halifax. So Decaf is the Dartmouth Comic Arts Festival. But we drink lots of caffeinated coffee.
Okay.
No, one of these days we got to plan I want to plan like a little raid crew road trip out there and do Decaf, because it's usually is it in the late spring or when is that normally?
In August usually.
Oh, it's August. Okay, actually that'd be nice. I've never been to the East Coast in full-fledged summer.
Yeah, we're going end of June, first week of July. So we're the first week we're in Nova Scotia, the far northeast point up there. I can't remember what it's called, but we have a cottage up there for a week, so that's gonna be cool, right on the water. So
nice. Well, maybe we'll see you there because I think we were planning a little trip out there around the same time. So
I like it.
Steph doesn't believe me. She's like, "We're not going to go anywhere," and I'm like, don't worry.
Tell Steph to chill out, man.
I'll get my work done. We can go away.
That'd be really cool, man.
I'm a notorious workaholic. I admit it finally.
Well, we got a lot on our. We're getting older. We're also getting older, right? So we're like, we got to get this done now. We're like, what the hell, right? Like,
yeah, that's the other thing too. Time is ticking away.
100%.
Yeah, oftentimes I find if it wasn't for conventions, I wouldn't go anywhere. So.
That's the joy of that's why I love doing conventions, because it is a great way to, you know, kind of trick yourself into getting out of your, you know, your house and meeting other creators, especially smaller shows, which I love.
Yeah.
Because it's always more fun. You're going to have more of an intimate experience, and oftentimes, you know, meet great creators.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying in some other places in Canada for sure. I love Vancouver. I love Calgary was fun. I'd like to do the smaller places for sure, out of the way places. Even going further north, you know, just smaller conventions are cool because, people are there to kind of come in to see you in a way, right? There's not much else out there, right? So it's kind of cool. Like no competition, no one will come.
By default, you're a superstar, Eric.
You're like, oh wow, Arden, what's this? I don't know yet.
They're not going to spend all their money on the Hobbits or something.
Yeah. Exactly. Like it's crazy because like the Fan Expo shows. I was talking to Dax about it when we were tabling there last in March, and he's just like, man, this is so different than Vancouver. I says, yeah, well, the thing is, it's like TCAF's Fan Expo is a weird show. It's got everything, and everyone goes to it. So it's like if you can survive the Toronto Comic Con, you'll be fine at any other show. I always say because it's always a mixed bag, but don't go in with any expectations because it is a we got TCAF in the middle of Sunday.
Oh, there's Cal.
Hey, Cal, how you doing? Nice.
Yeah.
Right on.
August 21st. I like it.
And maybe not this year, but maybe next year we can go out there to raid. Get a.
I've done, like I said, I did HalCon a couple of years. Was it 2 or 1 year? I can't remember now, but I had a great time at that, and I've always wanted to check out DCAF.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, I would totally be up for that, man. 100%.
A little road trip, you know.
We also have like a ton of product to sell now that like makes us feel like we got something to say.
Hopefully, you know, get our own stories out there, and
like it's nice doing like the pro work and stuff, I guess. But then you're just kind of advertising for them in a way, right? It's like I want to flex my my muscles. I want to spread my wings on my own stories and you know kind of see what people think of what I'm doing, you know. So
yeah, well, 100%. Like I remember I was watching a thing on Kirby the other day where Kirby, for the most part, didn't work on anybody else's stuff but create his own. Like it's rare that he worked on another established character. You know, he was so busy just creating the Marvel universe. You know what I mean?
Things to do.
He's got things to do, right? And he's like, it's just like so much more satisfying. And unfortunately, we're like we seem to be in this very IP-driven realm these days. Like everything's either a sequel or part of like a huge franchise, and especially like in film and stuff, it's hard. I find it's harder to get those like indie voices out there. But the more stuff we can do, like, you know.
I like the idea of the pitching some Netflix shows, you know, like that's always something I can't wait to try and explore.
Oh yeah.
If you know we get there, of course, and the content we're doing is, I guess, good enough. But I'd love to take a stab at doing an animated short of some kind of raid stuff or whatever. That'd be really cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of opportunities there. I mean, where do you?
You're hungry for content, right? So it's like can't hurt to try.
Yeah. Just make sure it's you're happy with what you're doing with it, right? At the end of the day, you know, certain things you don't mind letting go of. Other times it's like, you know, I know a friend of mine had he was years in negotiation with Disney for one of his properties, and it took him so long to carve out because he wanted to be able to continue doing his own stories based on the world he created, whereas Disney was like, no, we want everything. Like once we take it, you can't do anything. And he was like, no. And it was like they almost negotiated for almost like 3 to 5 years, and just so he could maintain doing what he was doing, and also make sure the artists who worked on his books could retain their original art. Those are the two things he fought for. And the funny thing is, that thing they finally settled the deal. It got re-optioned, I think, for like a good 6 or 8 years, but nothing ever got made. Because Disney eventually got Star Wars, and they were like, we don't need your thing anymore.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like be careful, like not necessarily be careful what you wish for, but it's like, sometimes it might not be as fun as you think it might be. Like,
Yeah,
I
it
think,
sounds exhausting.
Yeah, no, it totally does. Like I
Yeah.
saw, I think it was Jeff Smith, just recently posted something that the Bone Netflix series would not be happening. He didn't just go into details, but he was just like, fuck this. It's like, I'm done.
Yeah, we know the guy who is going to be the art director on that.
Oh,
He's
okay.
a friend of Troy's from back in the college days, and it would have been gorgeous if he worked on it, because he worked on Over the Garden Wall. So,
okay.
Yeah, so we're like, the world just lost a treasure there. Like, that would have been
that's a shame.
Yeah.
It's you know that at no point, like, everybody involved was probably like gung-ho to make it the best thing ever.
Yeah.
It's just probably some political or contractual little
money
got in the way.
Yeah, it was a money thing.
Politics, money.
Exactly,
stupid,
right?
Stupid,
Which is a shame, but
totally.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's so nice that we're able to kind of start our own publishing companies and our own things, right? Because they all started the same way in a weird way, right? It's like gotta try.
All these
try
things
something.
started from nothing at one point or another, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember sitting at when I did San Diego Comic Con. I think it was 2004 or 5. I can't remember what year it was. And I was sitting with Boom, who at the time I was sharing a table with Boom and Speakeasy. And Speakeasy had given one table to Boom, and Boom had like 2 comics out. And that was, just shy of 20 years ago. And now you have Boom, which is like the 3rd largest publisher in comics, So you never know. You just got to, it all starts somewhere, and you just got to hustle at the end of the day. Right?
It's the hustle, totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, just,
making the books.
Yeah. But just it depends how far you want to go down that road. But I think these days, like I would often look at like even like I'm not sure what their lifestyle is like or how much they live off of their own creation. But like Wendy and Richard Pini, who just did ElfQuest their entire lives, right? And like I don't know what else they've done other than ElfQuest, and that's as far as I know how they made their living. Sometimes it appeared under Epic, other times it appeared under other imprints, but for the most part, it was something they put out themselves, right? So, and that's curating a fan base with just a giant story that spans decades.
Yeah, it's such a rare thing to have happen.
Yeah, exactly.
One story because everyone says start with a small story.
Yeah,
this one actually worked.
Yeah, Yeah, we all as artists have all that problem. It's like, we'll just start with the small epic.
Oh God.
I know, right? Because I grew up on manga, right? Which is like 20 bazillion volumes long.
Exactly.
And they don't get to the point very fast. So I was like, I'm just going to do this manga story, which is why In the Air was an unfinished webcomic, because I realized, this doesn't...
Is it still available online somewhere?
I don't know. I think...
Oh, no?
I had it on Smack Jeeves back in
I don't know that, but okay, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was a free hosting website for webcomics, so I think that place is entirely shut down. So.
Oh, okay.
But I did self-publish the books. I did a small print run through this comics. Oh man, they shut down too. I forget the name of the company.
You're just burning bridges behind you.
I know. Yeah, just to print with them, and they're like, I hate this book so much, I'm never gonna print books again. I'm like, no.
Can I ask how many pages or how many volumes you did?
I got 1 volume of 200 pages done.
Oh,
and
wow.
then the first chapter of book 2, and then I did Turnip King, and that took long to finish that, because the ponies also kind of came into my world at that time. So
ponies came.
Ponies came and took over everything. They're like,
it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
I often joke I had like a 10-year detour just doing professional comics. I'm like, okay, it can sneak up on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get to a point where you're like, I'm confident enough that I can branch off and maybe say no to some things now. And,
exactly it, you know. I think as you grow as an artist, you kind of take everything, and then you're like, whoa.
Yeah, you got to build your chops at least that way, and you're like, okay, my chops are built. I think I could try something else for a bit.
Yeah, and you're kind of confident with, you know, how your money's coming in and how you're doing things and stuff like that. For sure. Yeah. Is it a story, like, obviously being your first story, you're probably a novice, you know, writer and stuff like that, but is it something that you ever curious about returning to, or are you just kind of completely taking it off the creative shelf?
For now, yeah. Yeah, because I'm getting so many new ideas. I don't want to get stuck in the past with it. I was like, you know, if there's ever a day when I need an idea and I don't have an idea, I can revisit it. But I just feel like I'm in the headspace that I just want to keep blazing
going
the trail.
Forward. No, it makes sense. I'm just curious.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like sometimes I find also sometimes old ideas morph into new ideas in a different way. Like as you get older. I was listening to Scott McCloud actually talk about this recently in an interview where he was revisiting like one of his, like, flipping through one of his idea black books, if you will, and he was like, oh, you know, this idea from like 15 years ago has chops, and you know, but now with my, you know, my adult perspective, I see it a little bit differently. I'm going to approach it a little bit differently, so it inadvertently becomes kind of a new story. From like a dusty old idea that, you know, maybe had legs, but you weren't ready to do it back then, or whatever it might be.
It wasn't its time.
Yeah, exactly. I know that sounds silly, but I often think ideas have their time, and sometimes you gotta step away from them or recreate them or whatever it might be.
Yeah, because you've had quite a journey with Kookaberry, right?
Well, that was like something exciting, and then you know, my career took off. As a freelancer in comics, and I love that, and I was like, but then I was like, I became a little bit burnt out because I just kept doing stuff for other people, and certain projects, I think, and you know, I don't know if you find this as well, like some corporate projects are very fulfilling because they can maybe give you extra freedom or whatever it might be, but then there are other projects which are, you know, they're still fun, but they're, at the end of the day, they're a paycheck because you got to make ends meet or whatever it might be, or maybe they're just not as fulfilling because they're very stringent, whether they might be a licensed thing or whatever. So I find, I don't know, I think as an artist you have that kind of creative itch that's your own, and if you don't scratch it for long periods of time, I think it's bad. I don't know, for me it is anyways.
Yeah, you just tend to get a little, I don't know, depressed, I guess, for a lack of a better word.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And you're like, I should be grateful that I'm working on this project. It's a good project, but I just don't feel, my soul isn't there.
Yeah.
My soul's over here. It left my body.
Exactly. Right? And and so like Kookaberry is like one of those projects which I loved, but at the same time I'm like, I feel guilty if I move on to another one without finishing this one. It's kind of like, it's not a crazy epic. I know I can get it done in a few years if I'm just, you know, while working on other stuff. So it's not like I have to work on just it, but I know if I can set it up right, I can work on it, have the books out for people to enjoy, and actually finish a story which I know the ending of. You know, it's just kind of like, so I'm like, I feel like it's a party I can't leave till, like, you know, till it's complete, basically, and then I'll confidently move on to other stuff when I feel like it's, like, you know, close to being finished or whatever it might be. You know, that's the guilt there on that one.
Yeah, you can clear up that space in your brain that it's just like, hey, like whispering in your hey.
Exactly. Say, hey, what about me? It's like, shut up.
Exactly. It's like, okay, I dealt with you. Now leave me alone.
No, so true.
Yeah.
But so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Oh, poor connection.
Oh
yeah.
Oh.
I like how she's calling it now. She's like, got this.
Like, I'll be right back. I wanted to get her to show. She's working on TFR. She's got.
Oh yeah.
So we see ours, but I want to see what she's doing.
These are pretty tight layouts there, bud. I don't think I've ever seen you do these.
Oh, I'm just trying shit, man. Like just trying to push it, trying to be cinematic. So
nice. I like how you have these word bubbles for words. Are you writing notes to Sheldon as to what they might be, the dialogue there? No.
I just imagine, there's a chance for them to say something, so they might say something, So I'm kind of trying to plot something. So I don't know. We'll see, right? We'll see
yeah.
Goes, so.
Welcome back. It's like the Pokeroo. You disappear, you come back.
Yeah. I was like, oh, it's doing so well too.
I like how you called it though. You're just like, you hear your voice just before it freezes, like, oh, here it comes. You're like,
yeah, because you guys start getting garbly, and that's the first sign.
Yeah.
I wanted to. Can you show us how far you come along?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Wow.
Zoom in. Oh shit! You're like just.
Damn. That'll be done in no time.
Yeah.
And you're gonna Copic marker that?
Yeah.
Oh wow. That's one thing I've never been able to fully dive into.
Me neither.
As a comp. I mean, I took a course in college all about marker rendering, but I don't know.
I've tried, I've dabbled, but honestly, I don't know. I'm just trying to learn how to ink. I don't even know how to color yet. So.
Yeah, but you paint a lot, so I figure.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't even paint that. I don't paint a lot. Honestly, I don't paint a lot at all.
So you're just naturally gifted, is what you're saying?
No, I didn't say I was gifted. Okay, don't put words in my mouth, man.
Yeah,
but I paint doesn't mean I'm good. I'm just saying I like painting. But
yeah, but you at least have a sense of color theory, is what I'm getting at with your painting.
I think we all do.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That kind of a general idea of what's what. RGB and
I struggle with my color theory. I'm just like, oh, make it brighter. It's like, oh god, no.
Yeah, I just kind of mess around till it looks right.
Yeah.
Okay, this is good. But yeah, people that can lay down color flats, like when you look at Hellboy and he just colors flats and it looks perfect. You're like, oh,
it's like so simple, but it's so perfect. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I hide my mistakes under lots of rendering.
I've done that. I've totally done that.
Yeah.
People often forget the simpler it is, the harder it is.
Oh yeah.
You ever had a person at a con go, well, I paid a lot of money for this commission. Thought there'd be more detail there.
Oh man. Is that it? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
For that amount of money, could you throw in some background? I'm like, oh.
You know what? I just tell them straight up. So I have a sketchbook usually of my pencil commission work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is kind of what they look like. It's pencils only with maybe a marker outline. That's it. That's all I'm doing. That's what I'm comfortable doing, and that's what I'm comfortable doing in the time frame and in these shitty chairs that I'm sitting on.
Shitty chairs.
So, they kind of know going in, okay. So don't come back and try and, get a better deal.
Don't get a better deal.
That's all you're getting. I can only do that much. So.
Oh, my God. You're hilarious.
Yeah, it's hard to draw at cons because you have to constantly get out of the zone and sell a book and sign a book. And then you're like, okay, where was I?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's so hard to do.
I can see why some creators have, signing times. Even at their own tables, they only sign during certain hours. Which at first I was like, well, that's silly. Then I'm like, I get it.
Yeah, and you can do commissions, but you take it away from the desk and you work on them in your hotel room, right? So it's like, I'll be back at these times to hand out my commissions or whatever, right? But I think that means you have to, people want your stuff.
That's the theory anyway.
That's the theory, so.
Yeah, no. So when you're coming up for TCAF, are you guys staying for a while or just for the weekend of the show?
We'll stay a little longer because Troy has a brother that lives in Fergus, and so we'll all fly down, Troy and me and Troy's mom, and we'll bring our little guy Nathan with us, and then kind of just abandon them all. Troy and I will abandon them all and go to TCAF. So.
That's hilarious.
Yay!
I like that woo-hoo in the background.
It's been so long since it's just been Troy and me, so we're looking forward to this. It's like, oh wow, we get to be humans without children and dependents. It's amazing. So we're really looking forward to TCAF.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So. We'll spend a bit of time with them, I guess, before we run off. But
could be good parents. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're not going to judge.
It'll be okay.
Heard you had 2 cats?
Yeah, we got 2 cats as well.
I have 4, so take that. And a dog.
I got 0 and 0.
Yeah, you're allergic though.
I love dogs, but I always feel guilty having one in the house with no backyard.
Right.
Yeah, the dogs are the best. My wife loves cats, so we have all these cats. They're good cats though, but ay. 4 cats too many.
Cats are just troublemakers. They're just little.
They totally are.
If the internet has told me anything, they're just mischievous little troublemakers. That's that.
Yeah.
They're damn funny though.
Damn funny, yeah, exactly.
They are, yeah. We enjoy them. They're, the 2 we have are from the same litter, so it's the first time we ever bought sibling cats.
Oh, cute.
So, yeah, it's been pretty good. They get along really well. There was no awkward introduction between the 2 of them where there was drama. They just always get along.
It's cute. Yeah, we had sibling dogs when I was growing up. That was nice. We were kind of both from the same fam.
Yeah.
How old are your cats?
They'll be closing in on 3 years soon.
Oh, so they're youngins.
Oh man.
Yes, they're youngins.
You're like, oh man.
My Mimi is how old is Mimi? She's got to be 16 years old or so.
Whoa!
She's an old bird.
Oh man, she's a granny cat.
And what do we got here? Brenda and Troy coming. Oh yeah, exactly. You gotta go swing by and see the race.
Oh yeah, come on by anytime. Yeah,
definitely. We'd love that.
Where is you said Fergus?
Yeah, Fergus, like Fergus, Guelph, kind of that area.
Oh, that area. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So I've got lots of family too of my own in London and in Hamilton.
Oh, I'm in London.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So usually if we go to Ontario, we visit my family. So Troy's brother's like, what are we, chopped liver? Come visit us in town. So yeah, so this time it'll be about them before we...
This time it'll be about them. You get one, and that's it.
Yeah.
And we moved here 12 years ago, for work. It's not bad. We're from St. Catharines, so it's a bit of an improvement. And St. Catharines,
bit of an improvement.
St. Catharines, there's not much going on there. You know, like all our family's there, but there's no work really.
Yeah.
So
I've been there for an event or two, but yeah, it's a smaller city for sure.
Yeah.
You know, but every so often, you know, I like the idea of going to an island and just living on an island. As you've done. Like,
as I've never stopped doing.
Huh?
As I've never stopped doing.
Yeah. Do you guys have a larger property with like some like land, or do you more of it just like in the city part of?
Yeah, we're in a little neighborhood here, like
okay.
the Hillsborough area. So we got a backyard that leads to a community park outside the gate. So that's
nice.
good for the kids, and lots of neighborhood kids. So Nathan just gets on his bike and rides around with them.
Is a ferry 2 hours from the mainland, or I'm trying to remember?
About 40. What is it? 75 minute boat ride?
Oh, that's okay. So hour and a half or so, maybe.
Yeah, not very long.
I thought it was a little bit farther for some reason.
No, it's the one to the Magdalen Islands. That's the long one.
Okay.
Ferry. Yeah.
What's Newfoundland like?
Newfoundland? I've never been. I want to go so bad though.
Yeah,
I want to go so bad. But it's like the prairies. I don't know, there's just nothing. Like, I don't know, you want to go there, but it's just enough out of the way. You don't get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this hotel there called Fogo Island that I've always been curious about. It has this like really cool, like, I guess famous Canadian chef there that everything is sourced from the island or from all the area. So like the menu changes based on what is currently the micro season of Newfoundland.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't know much about that. I've always wanted to be. I have this like hopefully one day. Yeah, that's it. The Fogo Island Hotel.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, that's wild.
Yeah, it's right on the waterfront too, which is really cool. It's apparently I looked into it years ago. It was relatively affordable. Now I think it's a little bit pricey. It's become very boutique.
Yeah.
But it was still pretty cool design. But I have this like one weird goal where I want to at least hit every province and territory once in my lifetime, and I think going west, I think I'm missing Manitoba still. I think that's the one I'm missing, and then I still haven't done PEI or Newfoundland or the territories, but soon.
Troy and I always talked about someday if we had enough like Pegamoose books and we could like do a cross Canada drive and hit all the comic shops along the way and like do little. So if you guys ever wanted to do that too, that would be awesome. And
we'll meet up a little road trip, racing our little vans, carrying all our
books. Press tour of the. That'd be awesome.
I like how Rob's sharing prices here. Yeah, not cheap. $3,175.
So what is the deal with this thing then? Just why is it so expensive?
It's all boutique. It's all inclusive. It's all I don't know. I haven't looked into it in a decade or so myself, but yeah, I think when I looked at it, it was like $300 a night. So inflation and all that.
I always thought it would be cool to go around Newfoundland and find little abandoned fishing towns.
Oh, that'd be neat. Yeah. There's so many like little cool places like that around the country too. Like I know there's like some ghost towns in Northern Ontario as well, and stuff like that. But yeah, I've always wanted to do the tour, like crossing and just like. And the book tour is a good excuse. You just pile a bunch of us in a van. You start at one end and make it your way to the other end somehow.
Yeah, exactly. And if you sell some books, maybe you could pay a hotel one night.
Yeah, or you get the store maybe to cover the hotel, and then you just So I know
for sure.
Danielle Corsetto, who did Girls with Slingshots, she did a big tour across the states. That was her deal, I think. The hotel would just the store would put her up for the day or the night, and then she'd get her way there basically. And I had a similar experience once on a tour where it was kind of the same. They covered the hotel and a meal in the evening, and then I was just making my way across here and there. So not impossible.
Yeah.
Put it that way,
Yeah.
We just have to get a little bit organized, and hopefully there's still lots of comic book stores around once we're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's only 3,000 shops in all of North America or something like that.
Oh, I think it's even less now.
Wow, man.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, that's tough. I mean, it's a tough gig, that business, and I wonder how with now that creators kind of have access to with the social media, and then obviously Kickstarter and Patreon. I wonder if that's just killing the comic book industry.
I don't know if it's killing, but you definitely have I think comic shops have been just kind of, you had the boom in the 90s where you had all these shops just kind of pop up based around the collector mentality, rather than building new readers. It was just all glitter covers and chromium covers and counts.
I've done all that.
Yeah, I remember I used to moonlight a bit after I graduated at a friend's comic shop, help him out every so often, and I remember once this kid, must have been maybe 7 or 9, was buying a comic, and I was like, oh, that's a wicked issue, you're gonna really like that, and he was like, I'm not gonna read it, I'm just gonna bag it and put it away, and I was like, whoa, what? You're 7. What are you doing?
That's what my dad told me.
I was like, what? You should be rolling this thing up and putting it in your back pocket.
Come on, Jimmy.
I was just like, what? It just blew me away. I was like, at least read it.
Oh, right.
But I like, speaking of Cal, who was just on here earlier, some great stores that are around the country that really kind of cater to the unique things that you can't find in other shops and other places. That's what I find. Those are the comic shops I think that survive the most. They're the ones that really build a community and readers.
Yeah, and they're open to new readers, and they're excited to give you your next favorite book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was recanting my first comic shop experience when I was to someone the other day, where I discovered comics at the local variety store, and that's where I would buy them. I'd wait for the shipment, and they'd come in and they'd cut that binding stuff that ruined the covers, and then they put them in their little racks and stuff. And I tried to find the best, unmangled version of whatever. and hopefully they got the second issue of whatever the hell I was collecting. And then I remember the first time I went to a local comic shop, it was like rather frightening because it was like this dark, creepy, like underground shop with like the poor lighting and these weird characters inside. I was just like going there by myself as like a 9-year-old, going, "Oh my god, am I gonna die here? Like, what is this place?" You know?
And you're like, "That's the industry I want to be part of."
Yeah, exactly.
I felt inspired.
Whatever they're doing, I want to be part of.
Oh man,
that's funny, dude.
Yeah, it was just a bizarre first experience for a store. Later on, I went to the same store, but they got their lighting fixed. You know, opened the blinds a little bit. It became a little bit less scary.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was just like a funny store. I remember telling my friend who later was the manager of that store. I told him that story. He's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that location. There was a leak in the roof, so we had to put a plastic bag, and things were like, you know, getting messed up." I was like, "Yeah, it was a creepy store, bud. Like, I was afraid I was never gonna come back." Like, oh man,
that's funny.
Yeah,
when I was young and getting into the manga scene, like I said, because I was right at that perfect age for the manga boom, and I'd walk.
Yep.
Oh
no! Not now!
No. Not mid manga.
Not mid manga. No. Well, we have to wait till she comes back. We're almost about wrap up time too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh jeez.
Oh, we lost her again. Maybe I'll unshare my screen to save on some bandwidth.
I'll do that too. Stop screen. Oh.
There we go. It's like in the nth hour.
I know.
You were saying the manga scene.
Yeah, because I'd walk in the comic shop and I was like this 14-year-old girl sitting on the floor looking at all these like Sailor Moon and Cardcaptor pretty things. I don't know that they knew what to do with me. They kind of like, okay. They've gotten used to me since I hung around. They're like, okay, it's not a phase. She's okay.
Is the shop still around?
Yeah, they've moved locations. It's the Comic Hunter.
Oh, nice. Now Eric's gone for some reason.
Oh, jeez. What did I do? Oh, my goodness.
Now he's just trying to upstage you, Brenda. That's all he's trying to do.
What happened there? Man, I hit my button. You guys still hear me?
We can hear you. We just see a little white dot.
What happened there? It's so crazy. Like,
Oh, and Brenda's frozen. I'm losing everybody here. It's just me.
What is going on? That is so nuts. Because my camera's on and you can hear my voice.
I can hear your voice, buddy, but we can't see you.
I need to do a quick reload.
No. Oh. Oh my God. Here we go. Well, everybody, it's just me. You're stuck with me now for the last few minutes as these fellows come on back. Or maybe I should just like end the program while they're on.
All this stuff wasn't my fault.
Oh man, there we are!
There you're back. One's back.
Oh my goodness! I don't know. I moved my button on my like I had to move my keyboard or my mouse, and like I hit one of the buttons, and everything just went bananas. So
I just was gonna end the show right there by myself. I just said, forget it.
They don't want to be with me.
Is there so what are the best places for people to find your work then? Just those websites that you linked?
Yeah, I've got my personal homepage, which is brendahickeycomics.com. And then we've got the pegamoospress.com for the both of us. And my social media that's most active is my Instagram, which is Brenda_E_Hickey at Instagram.
And we got all of these in the body of the text below just so people can just click on it. And we also have a link to your current Kickstarter campaign down there as well.
Yeah, go support it, everyone.
So please check it out. Some awesome art. Awesome books, and if the quality is anything above and beyond what the Angora book was, like that's quality stuff you guys are making. Like the finish on that cover and the UV spot gloss. I was like, ooh, I'm getting ideas for my next book.
yeah, we just love that tactile feel.
Oh my God, that soft tactile! I was so jealous when I opened that box.
Yeah, we're just like books we just want to hold.
Yeah.
Well, it was great talking with you, Brenda. Nice to meet you as well. And I promise I will back your campaign and check that out. So and again, everyone that came here, I'm not going to try and hit my mouse again. I'm going to pop out again. But thanks to everybody that came on the show too and listened to us ramble on about comics and nerd stuff. So But
yeah, and we'll see you, Brenda, I guess in about a month at TCAF.
Yeah,
month and a
yeah,
half
that'll
or
be
so.
awesome to catch
It's gonna
up.
sneak up really quick, probably. So.
Yeah, yeah. Will you be running your Kickstarter at that time? Yeah, you would be. But it wouldn't be
I think
done,
it
would
might just be ending or be in the
Okay.
I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking
Okay.
about it.
I guess it depends on the start date, but
Yeah,
I wish you all the
exactly.
best with that. And
Thank you.
the final 3 days. It's 3 days left on Forest Folk, right?
Yeah, 3 days left, so we're hoping to get some more TLC out there for Dax.
totally.
Yeah.
Get
Hopefully you
get
see a
his
big
book ready
spike
for-
at the end.
Yeah, let's hope.
Mhm.
All right.
Well,
Thank you so much.
nice talking, everybody. Go Leafs! I did check the score. Rob,
0-5.
I knew he was going to do it. I told him not to. Anyway, great seeing everybody. Be safe, be healthy. Go Leafs, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, keep making shit. Cheers.
Keep making shit. Nice. That's fantastic.